It's such good shit!
Hey, it's Mark Rodriguez here, and you're watching the Diving Cutter Podcast, and with me is...
NinjaPanda 1980, aka William White from Instagram.
And Johnny Rodriguez, always welcome to this Discord with this podcast.
Alright guys, so we're trying a different format this time. We're actually live right now on Odyssey, LBRY. Of course, you guys are hearing the, after version or whatever, but yeah, this will probably help out with better sound quality, so it'll be kind of cool. We'll just see how it goes going forward. We're going to be talking a lot about AEW Revolution, our predictions. Right now it's only the three of us. Joopy might jump in a little later, hopefully. And Jack Knives gave me his selections ahead of time, so I'll read like his choices when we get there. But before we get into that, we got a couple of things in the wrestling world, the wrestling shakeup.
We have another guest.
Well, if you two jabronis would shut up and let me talk, I could get in on this conversation, couldn't I? Oh, what's up, guys? How you guys all doing?
Yeah, and we're also live right now, Mr. DJF. There's a link in the chat there in case anyone gets in the chat. They can, say things. You can respond to them. It's very last minute, but hey, you never know. Someone might jump in. Who knows? So it came just in time. We were going to talk about the news. First we'll talk about the news that's still kind of shocking, sort of, but it's kind of old, but we just can't, not talk about this. But yes, the big news that Cody and Brandy left AEW. They chose not to renew their contracts. We heard that Cody was not satisfied with the booking, and he wanted to get that big CM Punk, Daniel Bryan type of money. And there were rumors that he was going to go to the WWE of all places, which makes as much sense as going back to whatever company you hate. Like come on, you know what I mean? But that's the thing. So what do you guys think of all that weirdness?
He was never going to the E. It was all smoke and mirrors. Yes, that is a pun. He was never headed back to the place that he hated the most. And this is all one big elaborate setup for when Cody debuts with Ring of Honor. I'm calling it now. I called it when he left the company. It just makes perfect sense. Cody can go deal with all that great roster because there's still a lot of great guys that are technically going to be signed with Ring of Honor. They're going to re-sign with them. And I just think it's going to be the right fit for him. And he doesn't have to worry about trying to compete with guys like Punk, Danielson, Omega anymore for that main event spot, which, let's face it, he's been out of for some time. And I just think Ring of Honor is the right place for Cody to go right now. And I think this has all just been one big game. He's been playing the internet and getting people to talk about him. And that's what you do in wrestling. You get people to talk about you and you create that buzz around you. And Cody found a way to do it. And sorry, he was never going to be back in the E. As much as people thought he was headed back there, like you said, no, you don't go back to the place that you hate the most to work at. That's just ridiculous. It's stupid. It makes no sense and sets you back so much further than where you could be. So that's my take. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with JDF on that one. I mean, there would be no possible way that he would ever go back to WWE after what they put him through. Worse yet, him and his brother. It would make no sense. And with Ring of Honor now being in Tony Khan's lap, it makes more than enough sense for him to make that jump, be the big star of the new Ring of Honor, not having to really compete with to me, headers like Punk and Omega, like JDF said. I completely agree with him.
Well, my opinion on all this is that, I guess you got to go where the money's at, and, you never really know what's really, behind the scenes in terms of any company you work for. So, love him or hate him, I think he didn't do what he had to do with his situation, and we can only wish him luck at the Ring of Honor. But honestly, when the news first came out, the buzz came out that he's gonna be going to the WWE, I'm pretty sure everybody else reacted the same way. I reacted I'm like, what the fuck? It doesn't make no sense to downgrade yourself. I mean, I'm not gonna say WWE's bad all the way, but I'm just saying considering that he did so much for the AEW, it would seem very like he's pretty much like demoted himself if he's going back to WWE. So yeah, I don't know. The Ring of Honor that might be the next step he has to take.
Yeah, another thing also is like it's like what Ricky Rocks or someone else said. I'm pretty sure it was him. Like, I mean, all Cody was gonna be there was like a little mid Carter, to be honest. Like, they're not gonna have Cody go over Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar, and whatever the fuck. They're not. Like he's like, yeah, it was just a bad thing. Like I don't know what the fuck he was thinking, and I really doubt he would be stupid enough to think that he would be treated the same way there he's like the big man in AEW. He's not gonna be a top star in WWE. Maybe his first match or something just to show off or whatever. But no, he's gonna get screwed. You got screwed so bad. And then Brandy was never part of the deal. She was never gonna like be there either. So it's kind of weird. But it does make sense. One thing I was gonna say, I remember even rumors like when they had their Saudi Arabia show, there were rumors that Cody was spotted in Saudi Arabia. Oh shit, like that junk. This confirms he's gonna go with WWE and all that crazy shit. I remember that. But one thing I do say is that if Brandy and Cody do go back to like the Ring of Honor, bring back Business Bear, yo. It's not the same without Business Bear. And on the other notes, as we kind of brought it up already, I guess the other big news, which was recently announced just this week, where Tony Khan finally has something cool to say. Yeah, he now owns Ring of Honor. He fucking bought it. It's like that moment where you can't decide which members of the Ring of Honor roster to get, that you decide to just, fuck it, I'll just buy the whole fucking company and everything. And I think it's good in a way because hopefully there'll be a bit of crossover. It'll help some of these people that seem to be just stuck on YouTube forever to be on TV in some other way. It kind of helps with the problem of the roster being too bloated for AEW, and some people from Ring of Honor can hop back and forth and that kind of stuff. Any thoughts on that stuff, guys? Because that's a pretty big deal. That's two promotions this guy is juggling now. Like, holy shit! Like, watch out, Impact, you're next.
I think that's part of why I am of the mind that I think Cody's headed to Ring of Honor. I think Cody's going to have a lot of behind-the-scenes stroke. I think he's going to be able to take more of a quote-unquote VP role like he did in AEW. And so Tony's going to be able to say that he owns it, but he'll have the right people in place. I mean, you've got somebody like a William Regal right now who's no longer with the E, and with his vast experience, that's somebody you can bring in and work behind the scenes, or even put him on the air as like an authority figure if you need to. But there's a lot of talent out there from a leadership standpoint that Tony can leverage and help make Ring of Honor a third competitive company, or fourth if you're bringing Impact into the conversation as well. So I think there's a lot of potential. I think from a fan's point of view, I love this because now he owns the Ring of Honor library. Got to be the biggest FU and middle finger to Vince, because now he owns all that digital media that he can use to showcase talents that are still with the E, like a Sami Zayn or a Kevin Owens. He can use that to his advantage and draw more interest back to his product. So it's win-win for Tony Khan, for all the fans, for wrestlers to still have another place to go that isn't the E. Because let's face it, that Performance Center, NXT, is not what it used to be. Guys that we see on the indies are not going to get the opportunities that they used to. And I think a place like Ring of Honor is exactly where guys like you mentioned who hang out on Dark and Elevation, they'll get those opportunities to go over there, make a name for themselves, and thrive more and get more opportunity to be exposed to the wrestling community as a whole.
Again, I completely agree with this. Yeah, and with Cody floating over there, he could be more of the active VP, almost like what Triple H was to NXT when it first came out, which I think would be highly beneficial, and they finally be able to get Ring of Honor on a more mainstream map. I mean, Ring of Honor back in the day with me was good, but like it should have been on that upper tier level. And now I think they're finally going to get there with Tony Khan, buying the company and bringing it up. And especially, when you do have wrestlers like Steven Regal and, people like that are veterans in the game that can actually, bring something to the table. It's definitely a great idea. I love the fact that he bought it. Good job.
So, yeah, that's like major news. yeah, like Tony Khan really did the big move. He said, "Okay, I'm gonna buy this whole Ring of Honor," and it's just gonna be very interesting to see, what's gonna be next with the Ring of Honor. I can only say, good things are gonna happen, and it's just something that I don't know, it's just needed to happen.
Yeah, it's a very big surprise. I just hope, it all works out. It's all good. I'm a bit confused now because there's so much crossover. Because, for example, one of the big things was like, holy shit, Jay Lethal's here. But it's like, well, they own Ring of Honor now, too. That kind of thing. So we'll see. We'll see where that goes. Now, I'm curious about the Briscoes, though. I've heard, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong without getting too, I guess, controversial. But I heard that I guess the Briscoes are just very, very tell it how it is. They're not, I guess, politically correct, and it might clash with Tony Khan's ideas and stuff like that. So I don't know if they would be welcome in the AEW in the Tony Khan version of Ring of Honor or whatever, or how would that go, or if he'll just kind of be a bit more hands off it, or I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? Would the Briscoes belong in the new version of Ring of Honor under Tony Khan's rule or thumb or whatever you want to call it?
I think the Briscoes will stay with Ring of Honor. I think because now that you don't have to worry about trying to lure them in and make them fit into the AEW mold of things, you can keep them in Ring of Honor. They're already established. It'll be a familiar face when Tony relaunches the company that fans will recognize, and they'll be able to be like, okay, well, the Briscoes are still here. They're keeping some of the originals. I definitely see a guy like Jay Lethal going back because they had no damn clue what they were doing with him in AEW. I mean, the guy's been on a couple of times and just nothing. I mean, after everything he's done for Ring of Honor, he was treated like an elevation talent. So I think the opportunity for a team like the Briscoes, for guys like Jay Lethal, and potentially anybody else who's just not quite fitting the bill for AEW to make their mark in Ring of Honor. A guy like Brian Cage who's not getting any exposure. It's the perfect opportunity for somebody like him to jump over to Ring of Honor. So I think Tony's going to have a vision, but I really think it's going to come down to who's running things behind the scenes, because they're going to be the ones who really are just like, listen, you run AEW this way because it's your baby, but let us run Ring of Honor the way it needs to be. And I hope they go back to their old style of Ring of Honor, like mid to late 2000s. I think there was just a lot of great talent there, and everything was focused on the wrestling. They had some really good storylines. I think if you have two companies like AEW and Ring of Honor who are doing the same thing, good storylines, great talent, and they're just putting out a great product, again, win-win for everybody, both the talent and the fans. So, but for the Briscoes, I want to see them stay in Ring of Honor. I don't see them fitting the mold in AEW. I just don't see them being a part of that tag division as much as I love to see them versus like FTR and the Bucks and everybody else in that amazing tag division. I think it's best for them to stay put for now.
Okay, so my opinion, I'm just super duper out of the loop, so I don't really know the whole full context of the whole thing, but I'm pretty sure in terms of, I don't know, Tony Khan managing now the Ring of Honor, and I guess the Briscoes, like, they're just not conventionally PC. I'm pretty sure uh, they're just gonna have to revise like certain policies when Tony Khan's in charge of the whole thing. So they're just gonna have to kind of work their way around it.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see if they have some person that represents, I guess, Ring of Honor. I guess Tony Khan's he'll maybe just drop in once in a while to make another big announcement or some shit. But yeah, it's like what DJF says. I hope they kind of keep it like I bought you guys so that you guys wouldn't die, but I'm not gonna tell you how to do your thing, or I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be the best way to go about it. But it's like, far as like some of the views that they've had with Tony Khan, I suggest they just tread a little lightly. But honestly, yeah, the best place for them to be would be stick to Ring of Honor. That's where their face is pretty much known, and that will get the audience, back to Ring of Honor. Considering it's been a while since they've been off. Like, it's been like what, 2 months now, 3 months. So yeah, this will definitely get them back. Having the Briscoes stay there, but they just gotta tread lightly and watch what they say, and they'll be doing all right.
All right, so with that, I think we covered most of the big news. Unless you guys have heard of any other big things worth mentioning here and there. I mean, I know the big surprise that even Shane O'Mac was kicked out of WWE. Like, holy shit, like nobody's safe, right? And stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure when Mickie James came in, she probably got her ass kicked out of the Royal Rumble pretty quickly, most likely, right? You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know what else is going on. I think the women of wrestling thing with Tessa Blanchard and AJ Lee, I think that's gonna start in May or something. I heard. I know they got like the first season up on Pluto TV, which I believe is part of Roku, so I'm gonna kind of keep track of that. But yeah, that's what I've been hearing. And apparently Matt Cardona is prospering over there in NWA, so that's interesting. I've been watching some NWA matches.
Okay, so just to recap, so the Women of Wrestling, is it like a reality show or?
No, it's a wrestling company, and I think I'm not. Someone can correct me if they know the backstory. I think they kind of also were like out of business or whatever the heck for a while, but then they got brought back now, and now Tessa Blanchard and AJ Lee are going to be like I'm not sure of the owners, but like the faces of the company. It sounds like AJ Lee's going to be doing just a commentary, sadly, but Tessa's going to, she's going to get in the ring too and all that. And they're going to be
on the, I'm sorry if I'm interrupting, but that's going to be on the Pluto TV.
Yeah, well, the first season of the show, I think from the old days, because now they own all the old stuff, it's going to be on Pluto TV, which is available on Roku. I saw that their first season's already up. I'll probably watch it like tonight or something.
Oh, I gotta watch that.
Yeah,
I do have the Pluto TV.
Yeah, I just don't know about like this new generation coming up now. I don't know like when that's starting. That's the thing. But if anyone else has any like last minute wrestling news or things you've heard from any other whatever, hey, just drop it on us, and then we'll start with the actual Revolution predictions.
So the piece that I actually read about today was the hate that Keith Lee's father is going to get for convincing his son to take the NXT gig, because apparently Keith Lee told a story that he was set to go to New Japan. He had a great contract set up. His entire year was laid out by Gato over there. And when he talked to his dad about what he should do, his dad said, take the E, go to NXT, they're global. And so then he goes to NXT, and the rest is history. So we can actually blame Keith Lee's father for the demise and almost complete destruction of Keith Lee's WWE career, because that's not where he should have been. He could have been over New Japan, making a bigger name for himself, making more money than he was making in the E, and being treated like the star that he is, as opposed to being treated like a jobber like he was on Raw. So I found that very interesting, and I'm wondering how much hate Keith Lee's father is going to get for this now after what transpired. I was surprised he put that out there like that, but that was interesting to me. Seeing Keith Lee in New Japan would have been pretty amazing.
Dude, that's kind of jaw-dropping. Like, Keith Lee in New Japan, that would have been extraordinary, but can't believe his dad botched that for him. That sucks. That really sucks.
Hey, I mean, everyone keeps saying, they keep thinking, even after all this shit, they keep thinking that, hey, WWE is the place to be, that's the big time, and like, well, no, it's not anymore.
Well, WWE, I mean, it's very, well known. So I guess a lot of people just take it for, because hey, it's a WWE, like it's a trademark.
They all love WWE because it's such good shit. And hey, don't forget about me. I'm gonna be wrestling versus Pat McAfee, and I'll show him what's the good shit.
Is it Pat McAfee, like a football player or something like that?
He's a former puncher for the Indianapolis Colts. Now he is a full-time commentator on SmackDown.
So any thoughts on what, like 78 or however the fuck old he is, 178-year-old McMahon going up against him?
That'll probably happen, seeing as there's nobody else on the roster left.
Vince McMahon's gonna be like that scene of like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, where he just comes in and like it's all just empty. Like he fired so many people, he forgot he fired them all. He comes in, it's just like empty.
Yeah, and he can't have poor Uncle Goldberg come in every year to help him out.
It'd be like the Krusty the Clown show, that one episode where he came in and it's all empty and it's like, is this a Saturday?
Yeah, I don't understand why Vince is wrestling at Mania. There's no need for that. There's not a single person in the world outside of Vince McMahon who wants to see him compete at WrestleMania. There's no need for it, and I just don't understand the reasoning. And I've said it before. This is part of the reason why I don't watch the E. It's just they've dropped the ball so much, and you're going into Mania, and you've extended it to 2 nights moving forward. Like that's going to be the norm, and this is the kind of stuff that you have to deal with. It's not like it's Vince versus Hogan and it made sense, or Vince versus Bret Hart and it made sense from a storyline purpose. But like, really, are we really going to go Vince McMahon versus Pat McAfee? Like, what's the basis? What's the genesis of this? And what is this ultimately going to result in? Nothing. It's not going to increase more buys for the pay-per-view. It's not going to put more butts in the seats at Mania. If anything, I'm more worried about his physical well-being. Like, I almost feel like, does Vince have a death wish? Does he want to die in the ring like some superstar? And I don't understand the reasoning behind it. And I really hope for his physical state that he's able to leave and leave healthy, because Pat is not the guy I would have put him in there with. With that roster, you could have put him in there with anybody who's more well-versed and more well-trained and seasoned, who could protect Vince. He's putting a lot of stock in a former punter to keep him safe. And Pat's wrestled, 2 matches? Maybe 3? And he was in the ring with guys like Adam Cole, who knew what they were doing. I know Pat can hold his own, but come on. This is Vince McMahon, not Adam Cole. So I just think this whole thing is just a cluster.
Yeah, you definitely got to worry about his age and his safety. I mean, dare I say it, I'd rather put him in the ring with Nia Jax before I put him in the ring with this guy currently. I mean, this is just, I don't even understand what is the reason for it. Like, there's nothing, it doesn't do anything for a storyline. It doesn't do anything for, like, an entertainment value, because people, even heard the match and they're just like, why? Like, it makes no sense to me at all for this to even exist. Vince needs to just put the towel down, take off the fingerless gloves, sit his ass down, and just chill out.
That moment when you laid off so many people, you gotta get your own ass in the ring now.
I mean, if he's going to get in the ring, wouldn't Austin Theory have been the best decision out of this? I mean, haven't they been building this friggin' storyline with Austin Theory for months, and like they're trying to make Austin this next big star in the company? I mean, what better way to get eyes on him than to put him in the ring with the boss? But we're going to go with the commentator instead? Like, there's no rhyme or reason to it, and I don't understand why they're doing this, but, that's why we use the term very loosely, quote-unquote, creative is at the helm, and, it is what it is.
I mean, even if they did like a bad blood angle, I would rather see him go up against Paul Heyman than this guy. It just doesn't make sense.
Have him go against Jim Cornette or Vince Russo. I don't know.
I just really like this. Like, what is this? Like, people are gonna pay a pay-per-view for that.
And don't bring up Vince Russo. The writing's already bad on this one. We don't need to drop it any lower.
I mean, he probably booked the match. Who knows? All right, guys. So, let's get on track and get started. But yeah, that's what happens when you get like how many months between pay-per-views? There's like so much shit going on that we can't just. Some things you can kind of gloss over, but some things you just gotta talk about because holy crap, So, anyways, let's start our predictions for AEW Revolution 2022. For those that are new to the show, of course, we do our predictions and, storylines and reasons why we think this and that for this episode. And then once the actual pay-per-view is out and stuff, we'll come back the following week and compare our predictions with what really happened and, see who won, see who lost and everything. So, right off the bat, the first match we're going to talk about, we got Hook versus QT Marshall. And, I mean, this is kind of a no-brainer. Hook is like this Mr. No-Sell, Mr. Take you down in 3 minutes or whatever. At least he has more moves than Goldberg does, but still, quick matches. I don't know why the fuck QT Marshall's even fucking with him, to be honest, but this will be their big match, and I'm going to go with Hook because it's just obvious. The only way Marshall's going to win is if by chance he has, Anthony Ogogo and Colorado and all them cheat on his behalf and he takes the credit for the win. But I mean, Hook's been able to take out everyone. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes them out too if they come in or whatever. So yeah, Hook's gonna win. This is a no-brainer. This is just so that people, all his giant fan base, can cheer because he's fighting on the pay-per-view. Is my thought.
Yeah, I got Hook on this one as well. I mean, dude's pretty much been a wrecking ball since he walked in. As far as QT Marshall goes, yeah, if he tries to pull something sly and have one of his boys come out, they're going to end up getting wrecked as well, just for the humor value. This is pretty much going to be a warm up, slight bit of a squash match for the pay per view. I got Hook.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for Hook as well. I think this is just like like a warm up match so that you could, I don't know, still have time to grab your sodas and all that stuff before the actual, event starts. That's the way I see it.
This match shouldn't last more than a minute. He should be able to knock him out, throw in the Taz mission, walk out, grab a bag of chips, call it a day, end up on another vlog somewhere, and just be done with it. How QT Marshall still has a job is beyond me. I don't know what dirt he's got on Tony Khan, but hey, more power to him. This is easily just to get the crowd amped, get them excited. Hook's going to get that easy win, continue the streak, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, and on that note, Jackknives also voted for Hook. So yeah, it's anonymous. I mean, it's pretty much. I really doubt they're gonna do something to break his momentum now. So and also his first pay per view match, because technically speaking, like I said, QT can play the numbers games, but I don't think that they're gonna, wreck his streak so fast like on his first pay per view. So yeah, it's like a no brainer. So yeah, everyone's going for Hook here. So the second match we got here is we also know oh god, I can't talk English. Okay, the next match we got here is Leila Hirsch versus Chris Stantlander, and I don't know which one of these is going to be. I have a feeling both of these matches might be on the kickoff show or the buy-in show, as it's called in AEW. But either way, yeah, Leila Hirsch and Chris Stantlander, they've been having issues here and there. I forgot exactly how it started, but Leila Hirsch just doesn't play well with others, and there's been some tag matches, and they tried to make a mini stable between Chris Statlander, Red Velvet, and Leila Hirsch, but she just doesn't like them. And she started attacking them and beating the crap out of them backstage and everything, and she's been beating the crap out of Red Velvet. And I noticed that it was some interesting thing. They had I forgot who the person was, but oh yeah, no, I forgot her name. It was some kickboxer girl, and it was like Red Velvet faced her one night in Elevation, and like it was a fight. Like it took her like it was a fight for her to take down the kickboxing girl, and Leila Hirsch faced her the next night on Dark and just took her down in like 2 minutes. So I'm like, oh crap. So then when Leila Hirsch finally got the match against Red Velvet, yeah, just took her down like a piece of shit, So now we're gonna see with Statlander and see what happens. For me, I'm voting for Statlander. It's about time to shut down Leila. She's a little too smug. She used to have no personality, but now she walks around with this big old smug smile on her face and whatever. So yeah, I want Chris Statlander to just take her ass down, knock her down the peg, and all that. So yep, that's what I'm voting for.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I got Chris Stantlander as well. It's even for as short as this feud's been, it feels as much as a beating as he's been given. It feels like a long time coming for some backlash. So yeah, that's definitely who I got as the win on that one.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with you guys. I think Chris Statlander's pretty cool. She's a good wrestler, and I think it would be good for her to actually give a good beating to Leila. Maybe that'll take off her smirk off her face. So that would be a very good, entertaining match.
Yeah, I'm in the majority here. I don't see Chris Statlander taking the loss on this one. I think she's just too good of a talent. Not to take anything away from Leila Hirsch, because she's a beast in herself. But I think Chris is just on a different level. I'd love to see her get back in the title hunt at some point. Rumor has it she's dropping the alien shtick. She's going to be maybe potentially debuting a new look. So I'm curious, because all I'm used to seeing is Chris with the contact in her eye and the makeup and the boots and all that stuff. So if she's taking on a different angle with her gimmick, I'm excited to see where that goes, and maybe a little bit more serious could lead to her being in that title contention talk down the line as well. So Chris gets the dub and gets back on track.
Yeah, so Jack Knives also voted for Statlander, and yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, I haven't heard anything about the Boop still, but I do know they're dropping the alien gimmick or at least toning it down. I think in the last couple of matches they stopped saying she came from outer space or whatever. So or the the Milky Way galaxy or whatever they were saying for her place. So, but I don't know. Maybe the Boops might survive. We'll see. But yeah. So wow, this so far we got two matches where it's like anonymous. So let's see what happens here. So next one we got here is a big trios type match. We got the AHFO because now Andrade is involved. So it's like the Andrade. The Andrade Hardy. Oh God, what the fuck? Yeah, someone tell us. Remind me what that shit stands for again. Anyone? Anyone remember what AHFO stands for?
I remember Andrade and Hardy. After that, I have no idea.
Well, anyways, those guys. So, so the AHFO represented by Andrade El Idolo, Matt Hardy, and Isaiah Cassidy versus Sammy Guevara, Sting, and Darby Allin. And I don't know. It's just I don't know. Isaiah Cassidy is kind of an odd choice. They should have picked someone else, someone more like whatever. I don't know, man. It could go either way. They're both very talented and stuff. And on the other side, we've seen the Sammy. Obviously, Sammy's awesome. Darby Allin's awesome. Sting can damn, dude can still go at his age. Like, holy shit, you know what I mean? Like I'm surprised. I'm really surprised how well Sting is nowadays. But I don't know, man. I guess I'll just go for the good guys. I'll just go for Sammy, Sting, and Darby Allin. But I mean, it could be a close one. I just think I don't know. Isaiah Cassidy could. I'm not taking away from him from his skills. I know he's a high flyer. He's good. He'll be someone to kind of counter Sammy and Darby and all that. But it's just the way they played Private Party. They're kind of like lower on the card. Like they could have picked someone else to represent like their third guy to really make it look like a power play with Andrade and Matt Hardy. So I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna go for Sammy, Sting, and Darby on this one.
Yeah, I got Sammy, Sting, and Darby on this one as well. I mean, you've pretty much got your legend and your two death defiers. I mean, it's gonna be a rough match to call. I mean, a really rough match to call. But I do see the fact of between Matt Hardy, Darby, Guevara, and Cassidy, there's going to be a lot of high flyer spots, while Sting and Andrade are probably in the ring just beating the snot out of each other. But either way, it's going to be a good match. I call Sting, Darby, and Guevara.
Hey, I agree with you guys. I mean, this is going to be one hell of a match because, all these wrestlers are pretty talented and they're pretty heavy. I mean, you have Andrade, Matt Hardy, Asaya, Darby Allin, Sting, Sammy Guevara. I mean, that's just like a lot that's gonna happen in this match. Now, I'm pretty sure, Sammy Allin and Sting will win this match, but it's gonna be very, very, very close. And you know that there's going to be a lot of cheats going on with the opposing team, I seriously doubt Andrade and Matt Hardy and Asaya, those people, they're not going to do a lot of cheats and a lot of close calls, It's going to be like the kind of match that's going to last for a while, and they're going to be going back and forth, with the pins and all that. So I could see all that kind of stuff happening. And hey, you never know, there might be... if the other team does win, though, I have to say, if they do win, it's going to be because they cheated,
I think it's kind of a safe bet to go with Sting, Darby, and Sammy. I mean, the three of them together is just one of those powerhouse trio teams. And it's just building. I really honestly believe that the Hardy family is just falling apart. And this is going to probably be the final straw. I'm going to call probably Darby getting the pin on Isaiah Cassidy. Probably after a Stinger death drop, I could see Darby hitting a coffin drop, getting the nod on him, and Hardy just finally losing his mind, and that's going to lead to Jeff showing up eventually down the line. Because I just don't see it was AHFO getting the nod on your TNT champion Darby Allin and Sting. It's just not going to happen. So I think it'll be a good match. I think you've got a lot of great talent in the ring. It's just going to be kind of a given, in my opinion, though. I think that the trios of the good guys is going to pull this one out. Should be a good match, so I'm looking forward to it.
And I'm seeing here that Jack, even though he's not with us here in person, he's still the contrarian. He actually voted for the AHFO to win the match. That's interesting. I mean, because another thing to consider, I forgot to mention, is the numbers game. They might have their other members lurking around and stuff like that. So that's one thing to keep in.
Yeah, that's why I had the opinion that if the other team, like, I do want, Savvy's team to win, but I'm saying that if the other guys win, the the name of the team, let's just leave it at that. It's gonna be because cheating got involved,
So the next match we got with a bunch of other guys is this tag team match here, and it's actually for the tag team titles. And as usual in a triple threat kind of match, it's like they don't even have to pin the champs. They could just pin one of the other guys, and they could win it that way. So we've got the Jurassic Express, which are the current tag team champions, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. We also got Red Dragon, a new team because of the recently joined Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. And we also got the Young Bucks, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson. Now, one thing is that the Red Dragon and the Young Bucks are all supposed to be kind of like together. Now the Elite's like this big-ass group now of Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, the Young Bucks, Jay White, Switchblade, because, yes, he did join the AEW now. He's all Elite. And, there's someone else. Oh, and Adam Cole. Like, they're all supposed to be like this big faction now. But the thing is, there's a bit of friction with these guys that used to be from the Acclaimed. They were the Acclaimed, right? Or, no, what were they called? Oh, god damn it. It's been a while. What were their NXT name? Bobby Fish and all them? Adam Cole and all them?
Wasn't it like the Reprisal or something like that?
It's Undisputed Era.
Yeah, the Undisputed Era. Yeah. So all these guys in the Undisputed Era are now here and everything, but they're kind of rubbing each other the wrong way kind of thing. Like Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly don't quite get along as well with Matt and Nick Jackson. It looks like Adam Cole brought in Jay White without, like, consulting the Young Bucks. There's that friction, like, hey, whoa. So there's friction between the multiple members of the groups here and there, with Adam Cole trying his best to keep everyone, like, together. So right now, this friction also caused, because, like, I forgot the details. There was some match where I guess the Young Bucks were hoping to win, but Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly won instead, so that it brought some friction on. So now the Young Bucks, of course, they won the match this week on Dynamite, so now they're also in this. So now you're going to have these two guys, these two teams, they're supposed to be on the same side, but they're not quite there, because obviously, both sides want the titles and everything. And of course, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, they're a more cohesive unit, so we'll see what happens. But I don't know. I really don't want to go against my boys, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, but I think it would be more epic if Red Dragon actually won and started, like, maybe they could do, like, a splinter faction between them and, the people that were members of the Undisputed Era and separate from the Young Bucks. That might be interesting. Because the Young Bucks, I mean, they were champs for, like, a fucking long-ass time. They're not going to be tag team champs again. They're not going to do that. I hope not. I hope they're not that stupid. So it's either Jurassic Express or Red Dragon's going to win. I'll just go with Red Dragon for the shock of it. I love the Jurassic Express, though. No hate against them. And they have their title for a good while. They had a couple of defense fights by now and everything. So, yeah, it'd be kind of cool if these guys won. So I'm going to go for Red Dragon. See how that goes. It's kind of sort of like a not who I want to win, but I think they're going to win. It'd be like the biggest pop if they won, as opposed to Young Bucks and Jurassic Express just retaining. But we'll see.
I don't know. In this situation, I know I'm going to sound weird, but I got Jurassic Express retaining the title simply due to the fact that Red Dragon and the Young Bucks can't get along. They're going to be too busy, like, fighting each other, and, like, there's going to be probably some moment where they're going to tag on either, Jungle Boy or Luchasaurus, and then something goes awry, and they're going to end up fighting each other, which is going to be that one opportunity, that one hole that they need for somebody to get the pin on either side. So I call Jurassic Express because they're more cohesive and their heads are more on straight.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's gonna be Jurassic Express. They're both on the same level. They're both like a good team. They have good chemistry as a team compared to the Red Dragon, where there's a lot of clashing going on. So I don't know. I mean, it's a kind of it's honestly it's a kind of match that either or can win the match, but I would still like the Jurassic Express to win this match, to be honest.
I'm pretty much with the moral majority here. I really think Jurassic Express and Kane, I think they need this victory. I think their tag reign so far has been lackluster, to say the very least. And there was a lot of shade thrown their way about the fact that they won the way that they did, with Phoenix getting injured in the match. So they need this kind of win. And whether or not it's because they actually beat the teams, or if Red Dragon and Young Bucks screw each other over and one of them takes the loss, it is what it is. I think you need that storyline to keep going. I think that's going to be the feud potentially of the year at this point. I think if you keep building that up right, it's going to be something that keeps people tuning in. And Jurassic Express can go on and keep defending those titles against some of the other great teams that are in the division. So I give it to Jurassic Express, despite their backs being up against the wall. I think they pull it out and they retain.
I also see that Jack Knives voted for what's it called, for Red Dragon. So I guess the contrarianism kind of rubbed off on me. But I don't know. I just think it's just it'd be like the bigger pop if they got it. But yeah, so it looks like most everyone is going for Jurassic Express for this round. So then now we got Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson. And it's kind of been an ongoing thing where they've been kind of, I guess, circling around each other. But then Bryan Danielson brought up the idea that instead of like fighting each other, they should just team up and they could take over the wrestling company and they could just like show these guys. I guess Bryan Danielson's new angle now is like, the violence, I'll show you violence and all that shit. And he's going up against all these other younger guys in the last couple of weeks because, show me the violence and all that shit. And so Jon Moxley came up and said, like, before we fight together, we should bleed together. So they want an actual fight first. I mean, now it's not clear how personal the fight's gonna get. It's not clear if after the fight they're gonna like, okay, we did this, so now let's team up. I don't know. We'll see. But they're gonna fight, and oh man, I don't know. This is a tough one. I kind of want to say Bryan Danielson's gonna win because he's like, I guess, the more newer guy. I mean, we've had Jon Moxley here and there. He's had his big wins here and there, his big battles and stuff like that. So with Bryan Danielson being like the more by AEW standards, new kid on the block, I would kind of say it would be his big win over Jon Moxley. It just, I don't know, kind of makes sense to me. But we'll see after that if it's going to become a blood feud or if it's going to be like, okay, so now we're going to team up and wreck this shit, bring the violence or whatever.
Yeah, that actually is going to be a tough match to call. I mean, like I said, you've got Moxley, who's got the history, and he's on a comeback, because he had been gone for a while. And then you got Bryan Danielson, who's the newer guy in this whole deal. It's a rough pick, but I think it's gonna be Moxley, and it's honestly gonna be Moxley just like testing his resolve, seeing how far he can go, going the distance with Daniel Bryanson, and then tagging up with him and going, all right, let's go wreck house. But I think Moxley's gonna put him through the numbers on that one.
Okay, so I guess I'm gonna be the contrarian. I think that Bryan Danielson's like the new kid at the block, so I think that they might give him a chance to actually win this match, But it's gonna be a very a long, bloody match. I can tell you that.
I think just based on the talent in that ring, I think it's going to be just a really stiff match, and that's cool. Like, I'm all for them just beating the living hell out of each other for about 15 minutes or so, and I really think Bryan Danielson's going to get the win here. I think he's still on a path towards that world title. I don't think there's any real likelihood of him and Moxley teaming up because I really don't want to see the WWE style of two random guys thrown together getting the tag titles. There's no reason for it. These guys are great individual talents, and I want to see Bryan Danielson back in that world title picture. So I think he gets this win. I think it's going to be a hard-fought match, and he's going to maybe he's going to be a little sneaky. I think maybe a handful of tights maybe is something that I could even see him trying to pull out in order to get that win. So should be a good match regardless, though.
So Jack Knives also went for Bryan Danielson, so I guess Ninja Panda's the only one going for the Mox. So we'll see what happens. He might win, we might all lose. And remember, guys, nothing is more manlier than seeing two men beating each other stiff. So the next match we have here is Chris Jericho versus Eddie Kingston. And I kind of forget a little bit how it started, little things started. There's been a couple of things where Chris Jericho's been having a bit of rocky problems within the inner circle, including with Santana and Ortiz getting pissed off with their missed opportunities and not being tag team champs, and Eddie Kingston came over to like side with them, and Jericho's kind of like, the fuck is this your business? Why are you even here? And that kind of shit. So eventually Eddie Kingston came out and made this big old promo or whatever. Jericho comes out to respond, and they're gonna fight. They're gonna actually have a match together and everything. But Jericho had this big promo about how deep down inside, Kingston's just a loser, and he'll never amount. He has a fear of success. He'll never amount to anything. He'll never amount to. He'll never get the big one. And it's like, and in AEW, I am the big one, not CM Punk, not Daniel Bryan said I'm the big one, and you're never gonna get the big one. And so we'll see what happens there. So I don't know, man. This is a tough match to call because, like, I'm always about Jericho. I'm Le Champion of work at home, so I'm always going for Jericho. But I don't know, man. On the other hand, Eddie Kingston needs this more, and Chris Jericho also has a history of kind of putting the guys over. He put over like Orange Cassidy, and for the moment I forgot who else he put over. But he's helped a couple, the younger guys. So it wouldn't be too out of character or too a big shocking surprise or whatever you want to call it for Chris Jericho to lose to Eddie Kingston, so he could finally, get somewhere. In fact, that's something that Jericho could rub in his face later on. He could always say, "You see, I made you the big one. You're the one. You're the only one getting, selling out tickets or butts and seats because of me or whatever." I could see him throwing that back in his face later on, but. Yeah, I don't know. It's a real tough one. I really want Jericho to win because I love him having singles matches because usually he's hiding behind tag team partners. It's cool to see him go when he can. But I'm gonna give it to Eddie Kingston. He needs to win more, and Jericho's been known to put guys over, so I'm gonna give it to Kingston.
Yeah, as much as I hate to say it, as much as I give Eddie Kingston crap just like everybody else. I've called him the dollar store Dudley boy and everything in between. It's time for him to get out of that underdog limelight, and I think Jericho is definitely going to be the one to put him over. So, I definitely agree with you. Eddie Kingston is going to get the win on this one.
Hey, so just like you guys, as much as I'm not really a big fan of Eddie Kingston, I think he needs this win more than Chris Jericho, and let's see what happens with this match, anyways. But it'll be an interesting match. But yeah, I don't know. I think they might give Eddie Kingston a shot in this one.
I'll be honest, I didn't really know a lot about Eddie Kingston before he came to AEW, so I've had to really do my research on him. And this guy's not going to be the best guy in the ring. He's not a technician, but he is certainly one of the absolute best on the mic. And I love his promos, how passionate he is, how emotional he gets, how invested he is. And the one thing that I've noticed about Chris is Chris likes to hitch his wagon, to any star that's like the moment, that is the big star in that moment. And he's been doing that with a lot of guys like Orange Cassidy, MJF. And he's received a lot of flack for it. But in the end, these guys are getting the rub. They're getting the win over Jericho. And Kingston is a guy that has so much of a following right now and is so over with that crowd. Jericho knows what he's doing. He's going to help make him more of a star. And I think Eddie's going to get the win, finally going to get that big win that he needs, because let's face it, the dude has been jobbing out to everybody in every feud he's ever been in with AEW. So it will be nice to see him get his hand raised once, this all is over. And hopefully this leads to bigger things down the line. Maybe a TNT title shot. Maybe he hooks up with Santana and Ortiz down the line. Maybe we get a trios tag title down the line, and then that you can see them return and come back as a team again. But Eddie's the guy. Eddie needs to get this win, and I'm full 100% sure that he's going to win this weekend, and I'm all for it.
I also want to say with Eddie Kingston, though, and that is correct, he is like a very passionate guy, and that's what most people have been saying about him, like the passion he brings, the promos, the stories, but it's like, it only gets you so far if all you're doing is losing all the time. So yeah, it's high time to get to win. So the only contrarian as usual is Jack Knives. He went for Jericho, so we'll see how that goes. And so the next match we got here is, oh wow, it's a big ladder match, and there are a lot of matches involved, and in fact, this very Wednesday that just passed, we found out who was the last person here. So it's a match, it's a ladder match to, I think it's to get a right for a title match down the line. It's Keith Lee, who recently joined, as we mentioned earlier, recently joined AEW. Orange Cassidy, Powerhouse Hobbs, holy shit, imagine Keith Lee versus Powerhouse Hobbs right there. Ricky Starks, Wardlow, Christian Cage, or Ethan Page. And damn, what can I say? They got a lot of Team Taz guys in there, man. That's kind of like, I know it's everyone for themselves, but like you got the advantage there. You got a lot of Team Taz guys in there. I don't know who's gonna win, and that's another thing I noticed. Like all these big guys, you got Keith Lee, Powerhouse Hobbs, Wardlow in the same fucking match. Damn, I mean, out of all these guys, I'm just gonna flat out say, I'm gonna say Keith Lee gets the win because he's like the new guy. He's like the flavor of the month, so to speak. So I'm gonna say he wins. Any other person I could think of, maybe Wardlow, because it would be kind of interesting to see how MJF would react if Wardlow's got a title match coming and he doesn't. That'd be kind of interesting. But I'm gonna give it to Keith Lee, and we'll see how that goes.
Well, I'm actually, oddly enough, giving this, I'm going to give this to Wardlow, literally just because of what was brought to mind. If MJF doesn't have a title, Wardlow all of a sudden does, it's going to build up a lot more tension and slowly start pushing Wardlow towards that singles, more towards the limelight and him being in more of a single action rather than just being MJF bodyguard. But looking at the list between Wardlow, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Keith Lee, that is a lot of big men and a lot of high places. And I hope Tony Khan's got some insurance policies paid up because that's going to be nasty.
Wow, this is quite a match. I'm actually either or, so. But I don't know, because on the one hand, though, Keith Lee did just join AEW, and sometimes, AEW like to, do that whole thing and they give people a chance. So, I don't know, maybe I'll be the contrarian in this one, and maybe I'll just go with the first team, the Keith Lee versus Orange. Oh, but it's only one. Shoot, okay. I don't know. Maybe Keith Lee can win this match. You never know.
I would normally pick Wardlow in this situation, but I am fully convinced that Shawn Spears is going to cost him that match, and that's going to just lead to Shawn Spears dying, basically, at the hands of Wardlow. I think Keith is the right decision here. I think it's a great opportunity to showcase his skills and ability, and even though he is a man of his size, I think he'll be just fine. I know I'm watching Rampage in the background right now. We've still got Christian Cage versus Ethan Page. That's right, Cage versus Page. And it's going to be interesting because I think Ethan Page is a guy that could really benefit from a match like this and getting a future title shot. But there's just too much other talent right now that fits the bill. And I think Keith Lee's that guy. I think he's going to be the guy that gets the win. And he's going to get that TNT title shot. Imagine him just destroying Sammy Guevara on an episode of Dynamite. That would be fun to watch. Sammy bumping his ass off for Keith Lee. So I'm going with Keith for the win. I'd imagine he's probably going to throw Ethan Page off the top of the ladder, do something to him to get that win, because I don't think Christian's going to be in that ladder match. I think he's just past his prime. I don't think he needs to be in a title match like this. A ladder match for a title shot. So, Keith Lee for the dub.
Now, I'm seeing here that Jack Knives actually voted for Christian Cage, and damn, I really wish he was here to give his reasoning. And holy shit! Wait, what's going on? Who's that dude on the TV right now? Are you guys? Is anyone watching the thing now? Is that Eric?
Oh, it is. Oh, it is. It's Redbeard. It's Eric Rowan.
Holy fucking shit! How did they introduce that guy so soon and not have a place from it in a pay-per-view? Like, oh man.
Yeah, they throw him into that whole mix with the House of Black versus Death Triangle. That's an interesting decision. I was surprised when he came strolling out because I saw the 3-on-2 numbers. I'm like, well, Phoenix isn't 100% yet to my knowledge. And then I saw Eric Redbeard on the Titantron, and I was like, holy crap, that's interesting.
So there you go, guys. This is live, just like live right now as we're watching. Some of us are watching Revolution with the volume down or whatever. But like, holy fucking shit. So Eric Redbeard is now All Elite, and now he's a member of the House of Black. Holy crap.
Oh, no. He's not part of the House of Black. He's part of, looks like Death Triangle. He's running with Penta.
Death Triangle? Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Yeah, because right now I'm just seeing Lambert with Scorpio Sky or whatever. But, damn, like I wish I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think of watching the match, while doing the podcast. But anyway,
AEW is officially turning into the Super Smash Brothers of wrestling. Like anybody could show up at this point.
Hey, maybe Terry Boyer will make it. I mean, that's the one guy that's everywhere else, right?
Yeah, I know, right?
But not my Shiranui because AEW only likes good girls,
Yeah, we'll save that for TNA. Get it?
Oh, God. Yep. Giggity go. Anyways, guys, the next match we got here is another big one. Before we start with the title matches, we got CM Punk versus MJF. It's been quite a story. I think CM Punk was the first one that started out. They wanted to fight MJF. MJF kept avoiding him. Then he started doing these stupid challenges and shit where CM Punk had to fight through. You didn't have to fight past Wardlow and fight past what do you call it? Sean Spears. It's been a while. I forgot. I think he actually had to fight both members of FTR at the same time or something like that. Sounds like that. But yeah, he had to go through the gauntlet of the whatever they're called. I forgot their stupid the Pinnacle before he could actually fight MJF, and MJF won that one. And then we had another big match. He won that one too. Now MJF started going deep and actually going to a very emotional promo about how he looked at CM Punk. He looked up to CM Punk when he was a kid, and he felt so betrayed when CM Punk left WWE and whatever the fuck, and MJF even started crying and getting emotional, and then CM Punk came out hey, is all that true? Is all that true? Whatever, and they shared this big, heartfelt hug and all that crap, and then of course when you drop your guard down, MJF fucks him up and cuts him open and beats the shit out of him, even wiping off his blood off on his own shirt and shit like that, and. So, now we're heading to the match. But I gotta say, right off the bat, it's gotta be CM Punk. I mean, I know there's been lots of feuds where MJF always seems to win at the end of his feuds. But, it has to be CM Punk. He already lost the 2 times. And that second time was supposed to be, the last one. But CM Punk somehow talked them into, one final rematch. And then, okay, we'll just end it here then, So it has to be CM Punk. I can't see fucking MJF winning one more time. And I don't know. It's kind of curious because that does raise interesting questions, especially depending on what order these matches take place. Because we could have a combination of Wardlow winning a title match while at the same time him getting even more frustrated or whatever, because or like you said also, maybe Sean Spears cost him the match. So he could be pissed already. He could be pre-pissed because Sean Spears cost him the ladder match. And then MJF does more shit, more berating and more crap. I mean, hey, we might see a Wardlow heel turn now if MJF tries to cheat. Maybe it'll be like the last time they won, MJF got the like he was fighting and all that crap and whatever. They were doing the match or whatever, and Wardlow came in with the brass ring, the gold diamond ring, whatever the fuck ring that he wears, and tossed it over to MJF, and you know he clocked him with it, and he won the match or whatever. But it was very like clear that Wardlow was not happy. He was not satisfied. They just zoomed in on how like he just wasn't happy with the decision that you know. So we might see something like that here. We might see something where Wardlow shows up or something, but he just doesn't give the ring. Like, this is the part where he's supposed to like give the ring to MJF to you know clock CM Punk and win. He might just I don't know. He might show off the ring on camera and just toss it or some shit, and CM Punk wins as a result of Wardlow. I mean, this might be the night that Wardlow can finally like I don't know about turn heel, but turn against MJF. Like I don't know.
Yeah, on this one, I definitely got CM Punk. And it's a dog collar match, which means they're going to be beating the ever living hell out of each other for probably 5 to 10 minutes.
That's a good point. But that was a dog collar match, yeah.
Yep, and with everything that's going on between CM Punk and MJF, it's been a long time coming. CM Punk's he's less technical when he's with MJF. He's more of a brawler when it comes to fighting MJF. So yeah, he's definitely going to be beating the hell out of him. And I got a feeling that depending on when this match happens, yeah, Wardlow will come into effect. You know, if it happens after the ladder match, I see Wardlow, you know, probably coming in, you know, things getting disgruntled and him finally giving MJF his comeuppance, you know, and finally doing a face turn on him. But if it's the other way around, who knows? But I definitely got CM Punk on this one. It's definitely just going to be a brawl. It's no technicality, just straight brawl.
Yeah, for this match, CM Punk really needs to win. There's no way that you know he's gonna lose again. You know, versus MJF of all people, like again. So I don't know. CM Punk really does need to win this match. And it's going to be a very interesting match because you know the way it's going to be set up in this dog cutter type match. So yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see how bloody this match gets.
And this is again when I was speaking about like making moments and being a main event player. This is the type of match that MJF needs to be a part of. This is his chance to shine. And, you know, I look back on Punk versus Raven when they had their dog collar match. MJF is no stranger either. He actually fought Ethan Page in Alpha One Wrestling and had a dog collar match. So both each have one in their history. But this is going to be a very brutal match. I think Punk's going to get the dupe here. I think he's going to get the win. Had he not lost to MJF in Chicago, I would have 100% put MJF over in this one. I would have thought for sure. However, with him beating Punk in Chicago, I think Punk's got to get that momentum going again. And I think this is just going to be brutal to watch. They are going to pound the ever-loving piss out of each other. They are going to bleed buckets. They are going to leave a lot of themselves in that ring. And I'm just looking forward to watching MJF bleed. I enjoy that immensely. And I'm a diehard CM Punk fan, so I need Punk to get this win and get back towards a potential main event run. Not that he needs one, but I'm still waiting for Punk in the title scene. But this one, I'm hoping they go back to the days of Valentine and Piper, and they just destroy one another.
And also, Jack Knives also went for CM Punk. And now we're going to the big, the 3 championship matches. First one we got here is Miss Jade Cargill, the TBS champion, being challenged by Ty Conti. And what can I say? Not much of a story. Just Jade, you know, whooping everyone's ass left and right week after week. And she made a little promo about it's not so much about who's next, it's more like who's left. And then Ty Conti got in her face. And yeah, I think it's going to be a bit more of a challenge here because Ty Conti's a bit above all the people that Jade's been squashing lately. But I don't know. I hope they bring her up with more confidence. I don't get what happened last time when Ty Conti went with Britt Baker, because she was like so hyped up and so ready and so whatever. But then when the match actually happened, they played off like if Ty Conti was like scared of her or insecure or whatever the fuck. So I hope they don't do that again here. Or now she's going up against Jade and now she also like doesn't know what to do or whatever. I hope they play her with the usual intensity she has. I don't know. They got a good thing going with the whole That Bitch Show TBS thing and her squashing people. I mean, this will obviously be a hell of a bigger match than her usual matches, but oh man. Ah, fuck it. I'll just put personal preference. I'm gonna say Ty Conti for the win, and I mean Jade's most likely gonna win, but I'm just gonna go with Ty Conti anyway.
Well, Mark, you finally got your dream match, so it's Laura Matsuda versus Storm. So congratulations, you got a live-action Marvel versus Capcom match here.
Oh,
but honestly, I'm gonna go with Jade Cargill. She's been wrecking the scene like since she's just came out, and like she's been keeping the momentum going. Now, Ty Conti, Ty's good, but she still looks like she's got a bit more confidence. She's got to build up. I think maybe if they give it one more feud in the ring, then I would give it to Ty. But for right now, I got Jade Cargill for the win.
So for this match, I think that they're gonna go along with the storyline of Jade still being a powerhouse. So I think she's still going to win this match.
You see, Goldberg, you can have like long streaks as a powerhouse with more than 2 moves.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. You guys, we've done this before. I'm not a fan of Ty Conti. There's something about her I just don't buy into. She's beautiful to look at, don't get me wrong, and she's got a great personality, and she's just not who I see as the one taking Jade Cargill down. Like, they have built her up as this dominant force in the women's division. She's not going to be the one that breaks that streak. It's going to be somebody different. I don't know who. I don't know where this could possibly be leading, but it's not going to be her. And I don't buy into Ty in the ring. She's okay. She's just, I've never been a fan of her in-ring work. And the fact that she's back in yet another title picture is really disheartening to me, because there's a lot of other great women in that locker room who could get that shot. So I really think Cargill gets the win here. I hope the match doesn't suck, but I gotta be honest, this may end up being the worst match on the entire card. I just don't think you put 2 talents like this together. I think you need somebody on the opposite side of that ring who can sort of carry the other one. And I don't think Ty versus Jade is going to be a 5-star match. I think it's going to be a cluster. I think there's going to be a lot of botches. I think it's going to be hard to sit through. And hopefully it doesn't go past like 5 or 6 minutes, and we can just move forward and get to the other women's title match that is clearly going to be the better match of the two. So Jade keeps the belt, gets the win, and keeps her streak going.
Ty Conti's got some sunscreen for that burn. Holy shit. But, yeah, Jack Knives also voted for Jade Cargill. I mean, I don't know. Has Jade ever had a match versus Chris Statlander? They seem to be around the same kind of height, give or take.
That's a good question. I'll take a look and see if they have actually gone at it here.
Because, I mean, if they keep building her up, if she gets good momentum and all that good stuff, I mean, maybe they can build her up to be a good contender going forward. So, yeah, the next women's match, which is for the overall, AEW Women's Champion, which is, of course, Britt Baker, DMD, is going to be facing off against Thunder Rosa. And, yeah, so we're going back to that plot. It's been established for a while. They haven't, really gone there, but now they've kind of, brought it back up. The fact that Thunder Rosa did defeat Britt Baker in the non-sanctioned match and everything. And, a couple of good promos here and there. Britt Baker actually brought in Mercedes Martinez with the job of, destroying Thunder Rosa, so she would be in such bad shape she would never be able to challenge Britt Baker in any match or whatever. And, yeah, she had a couple of chances. She lost the chances. Britt Baker kept getting in her face and, being a little too bossy. Of course, Mercedes Martinez is not the type of person you want to kind of boss around, even though, she's working for you or whatever. She's not someone you want to boss around and treat like crap. And Jamie Hayter is kind of like Wardlow, getting in her face every time she gets to disrespectful to Britt Baker and whatever. So yeah, it also had a big promo now, and I kind of like the promo. I kind of like how they bring all the merchandise up. Britt Baker's kind of like, yeah, you beat me, but everyone's talking about me. I'm the one that's got the bloody shirt. I got the bloody action figure. You're the one just still doing matches on YouTube while I'm here on TV, and that kind of stuff. So they kind of play that up. And, yeah, obviously Britt Baker's, obviously she's not going to admit it, but she is concerned about Thunder Rosa, which is why she sent Martinez after her. Martinez is now going after Britt Baker as well due to the betrayal and the treatment and all that shit. So I'm predicting, this might be it, guys. This might be the end of Britt Baker's run. It's been a very, very long run. In fact, she's been champion all last year or so, or I think for 2 years, where I got to meet her as champ, and Johnny got to meet her as champ at 2 separate cons, several months apart. So she's been champ for a good long-ass time. And we got to see her defend her title live. That's, so she's been a champ for a good long time. This might be it. Thunder Rosa might actually take her down. And there might be some shenanigans with Jamie Hayter and Reba or Rebel. But, of course, now Mercedes Martinez may just suddenly jump in there and, disrupt any outside interference, and Thunder Rosa may actually take this one. This might actually be the end of the reign of Britt Baker. And I just saw Ty Conti just sock the living shit out of Jade with a kick to the jaw, like damn, on Rampage. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna give this to Thunder Rosa, guys. I think this might be it. This might be the end of Britt Baker's reign. I just don't know what's next for her, what she'll do after that or whatever. But yeah, this might be it, guys.
Yeah, Britt Baker's had that title for well past a year. She's had a really good run with it, but I do think it's time for somebody to finally go ahead and take the reins and get that title from her. And considering the build-up on this, it's been a long time coming. I got Thunder Rosa for the win.
Oh, I'm going to be honest, this is going to be quite a match because I think a lot of people, are big fans of DMD. And, it would be cool if she win the match. But I also think that Thunder Rosa also needs to win the match. Because, yeah, I'm also a fan of Thunder Rosa. It's pretty cool if she win this match. It would be interesting also to see what's going to become of Britt Baker after her loss, So it'll be a very interesting match. Kind of like what you guys say. I think this match is going to be way superior compared to the Ty Conti match. Not to dismerit Ty Conti, but yeah, I don't know. This is going to be a much better match to watch, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's time for the Doctor to finally drop the belts. I think Thunder is just the girl to take that from her. Their first encounter where they had that lights out match was just phenomenal, and that really put both of them on the map. So I think there's probably going to be some shenanigans because, why would we ever have Britt Baker just take a clean loss? But I think it could be potentially something along the lines of Jamie Hayter costs her the match, and it's accidental. So that could be potentially be a feud down the line as well, which I'm all for. I think Britt needs to just be by herself. And I think that would open up the door for Jamie to start her run as a singles competitor away from Britt and really make a name for herself. So, yeah, I think it's Thunder's time, and I'm all for Thunder Rosa getting that title belt and seeing what she can do with it on her own.
And, of course, we see here... Yeah, Jack Knives also went for Thunder Rosa, and I do apologize. Did Ninja Panda already go?
Yeah, I already went. I had it down for Thunder Rosa.
Oh, wow. So it's unanimous. No one here is going for DMD. Oh, God. Okay, so now we have the big one. Oh, shit. Hikaru Shida. What's Hikaru Shida doing here? Oh, damn, I missed that. I was busy writing down, the whatever. So Hikaru Shida, did she attack Serena Deeb or something? Because, they got their feud going on still.
Yeah, she's back and whooped her ass.
Oh,
she used that kendo stick and laid her out.
Damn, I'm sorry, guys. This is a good episode of Rampage. I'm sorry you guys are, unless you start watching, I'm sorry you guys are missing it because, wow, this is an epic one. They're pulling all
Yeah,
the
do yourself
stops.
a favor. Yeah, guys, if you haven't been watching and you're going to, or you hadn't made plans to, watch it solely for Guevara versus Darby versus Andrade. That match was phenomenal. Probably one of the best matches AEW has put out. Those three went to town and had an amazing match.
All right, so now for the big one. Hangman Adam Page versus Adam Cole for the AEW Championship. And, yeah, I'm going to go for Hangman Page. I mean, I'm not too sure the story about their feud, give or take. I don't know. Like Adam Cole just said, like, "Hey, I'm gonna challenge you for the title," and try to do it all nice without like whatever. But then, of course, when we turn your back, the rest of the elite start jumping them and attacking them and shit like that. So, yeah, that's kind of interesting there. But yeah, for the actual match itself, I mean, what can I say? It's gonna be a hell of a battle. It's gonna be a hell of a war and all that. But I still think that that it's too soon for Hangman Page to drop it. I mean, in fact, part of the feud started with him actually talking about how he's been champion for a while and he hasn't really had any like worthwhile feuds and things like that. And that's what made Adam Cole like show up and everything. So yeah, I mean, right there, he needs a couple more defenses before he starts dropping the title. I mean, we could always get a match down the line, maybe in a rematch later on. Adam Cole can take it or something, but I still feel it's way too soon, especially for all the shit, especially for the super extreme long-term storytelling we had literally from the first episode of Dynamite till current for Hangman Page to even get the fucking title. It's just way too soon for him to drop it. You know what I mean?
I agree. It is way too early for them to drop Hangman Page as far as being the title holder. Especially as far as the story has gone. I mean, it's pretty much been a long road since day one with him. So I could definitely see this being a really good fight. Definitely going to be some good spots. But overall, I got Hangman Page for the win.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you guys. The cowboy shit has to win the match. You know, it's gotta be Adam Page. I mean, they did a lot of build up on him, so yeah, it would be good for him to win this match. You know, deserves it.
Yeah, I think Adam gets the win here. Oh, excuse me, Adam Page. You got to be specific. There's two Adams here. So I think Adam Page gets the win. I will be 100% in that. I think his run to the title was far more entertaining than his title reign has actually been. I feel like there's been a lot of talent who get to the main event spot. They get a run with the belt, and it's been lackluster. But their rise to the title was just more fulfilling. And then when they got that win, they got the title. It was okay. That was that special moment. But the following matchups, follow-ups are just not what you had hoped for the title reign. And I feel like that's kind of where I'm at with Adam Page. So I'm hoping him and Cole can go out there, put on a barn burner together. Cole is a workhorse. That's just who he is. He's going to go out there and give it his all. I'd love to see him get the win, but I don't think it's his time. Adam Page needs to get this win, and I'm curious where this leads him. Is it, I talked about Bryan Danielson getting back into the title picture. I think we could see Hangman Page versus Danielson again. You can always throw Moxley out there in a title match. There's a lot of great talent. So I'm really hoping that this is the start of some better quality matchups for Adam Page to help solidify his title run. Otherwise, to me, it was Kenny Omega and him chasing him that made Adam Page enjoyable to watch. And his title reign hasn't really lived up to the hype that came behind that. So either way, going to be a great match. Hoping to see Cole pull out some stuff like he normally does. And I think it's going to be a solid, top-notch main event to round out Revolution. And hopefully we get maybe a return of maybe Mr. Omega finally returns and shows his face here. He could return and challenge Adam Page again, or he could just start his feud with Adam Cole. He's got a lot of options. So have to see how Revolution plays out and where we go from there.
Yeah, so overall, looks like it's going to be a very good match. I really hope that one's going to be a good one because, oh my god, we got like 11 big matches here. And I'm afraid that we're going to be like all worn out and sleepy and shit by the time we get to the title match. So I really hope they pull out all the stops and they can still keep us entertained and everything by the time we get there. And you guys noticed the stream? I added pictures of when Johnny and I met Britt Baker. If you're watching the stream right now live on the link there, but yeah, it's gonna be a hell of a match. I hope, like I said, I hope we're still awake during that. I'm gonna probably buy some energy drinks or something for this one. This is gonna be a big, super intense one, man. We got like dog collar matches. We got lots of trio matches. We got a ladder match. It's insane, dude. This is gonna be one hell of everything, you know.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up. I just want to post on. I mean, I was talking to my buddy this morning about all the matches, about the pay-per-view, and how it's easily going to be one of their best cards from top to bottom. They've got some really great matches, but pacing is going to be key. You really got to, set these matches up in a way where the crowd does not get burnt out. Because if you put too much at the start of the pay-per-view, by the time you get to that main event spot, people are going to have no energy, the crowd's going to be dead, and you're not going to get the reactions that you're looking for a main event caliber match. So I hope they pace this correctly. And like you said, there may need to be some energy drinks, maybe a big cup of coffee, something, because these pay-per-views usually go about 3 to 4 hours. And by the time you get to the end of it, you're like, holy crap, where did my night go? But I'll be honest, I've never, ever in my entire time watching AEW ever walked away upset or disappointed with a pay-per-view. And I'm willing to bet the streak continues again this Sunday.
And I gotta say, I actually approved Sunday off, because that's one thing I don't like about AEW. I liked it before. That was a good idea. Make your things on Saturday, so that no matter how late they are, we still got Sunday off, But then they had to, start doing it Sundays. I don't know why. I don't know whose decision was that one or whatever, but they started doing it Sundays for this one, for this big match, and I got company coming over and everything, and, lots of food and pizza and snacks and whatever. It's like, yeah, I just had to get PTO for Monday. I didn't want to worry about, waking up all late or whatever, because I do morning shift, but yeah, it is going to be a long one. It'll be fun. It'll be awesome. It's like, we were there live. It's like saying you'll go home satisfied. It's awesome, but wow, this is going to be a big one.
I agree. I miss the Saturday shows. I think they need to go back to Saturdays, and Sundays are just not the right decision. I like the Saturday, get that nice pay-per-view going, and then you get the time to recover the next morning without having to go right into work. I miss that.
Yeah, I think Saturday would be good because, yeah, the same story here. I also do morning shifts, so yeah, it's kind of like, because the pay-per-views are very long. They're usually about 3 hours long, and then gotta still work the next day. And some of us work really early in the morning, so yep.
All right, amigos. So yeah, I think that wraps up this episode of Diving Cutter Podcast. We got all our thoughts. I don't know if you have any other final things you also want to say on Ninja Panda, just your overall thoughts of the card and stuff like that, or.
Yeah, my overall thoughts of the card. This is gonna be a good one. I'm definitely gonna be stacking up my my Red Bull, Diet Red Bull, since the whole sugar thing. But still, I'm gonna be chugging that, and I'm gonna be watching this because this is gonna be a good one.
Yeah, I think the only matches are gonna be so is just like the Hook match, because that's obviously gonna be a squash, and the Jade Cargill match might not be all it would need to be or whatever. But yeah, everything else, oh crap, oh crap.
I think this is gonna be one of the best pay-per-views we've had in a while, and it's it's good because let's just say there's just a lot of things going on in the real world, and yeah, this will be a very good distraction to still make you feel like, hey, you can still have a good time,
Yeah, I mean, now obviously this pay-per-view is not gonna have, we can't have the awesomeness of Vince McMahon stepping back into the ring, but I'm pretty sure it'll still be an awesome pay-per-view nonetheless. All right, amigos. So yeah, I think that kind of cuts it for this episode of the Diving Cutter Podcast, because that way we can all go back to our lives and watch the final minutes of Rampage that's still live right now. It's Christian Cage versus, is that Ethan Page he's going up against right now?
Yes, sir.
I just noticed the main event is Adam Page versus Adam Cole.
I don't got cable, so I'm not even watching.
Yeah. But, yeah, guys, we're up to the podcast here. I'll try to get this up, before the live one show. So, obviously, you guys can hear all our predictions, because it's better to hear them now than, after the show. And we'll do another episode next week, next Friday maybe, when, when everyone's already seen it. and stuff like that. We'll compare our predictions. Also remind you guys on LBRY, we got a brand new live podcast. Well, we're going to skip this week due to wrestling, but every other Sunday, we'll be discussing different fighting games from Street Fighter to Fatal Fury to Art of Fighting to, I don't know, Primal Rage, whatever games, we come up with and stuff like that. So that'll be kind of cool. And, so stay tuned. And this one is live from LBRY. I don't know who actually watched it live, but at least it makes editing that much easier. I don't have to worry about a lot of like Audacity and volume control and all that. So if that works out and saves a lot of time, we might do it like this from now on. And if we get like a kind of a thing going, I can tell more people in time, like, hey, don't miss this Friday, and we'll see what happens. But as for this one, that's all she wrote, guys. This is Mark Rodriguez here for a Diamond Cutter podcast.
NinjaPanda 1980. Have a good one.
Johnny Rodriguez.
DJF, I'm better than you. You know it, I know it, and soon the world will know it.
Yep, in the words of Ricky Rocks, if you can be good, be bad, baby. See you next time.